Hi, my name is Mitali Perkins, and I write books for young readers. The kinds of books that I write are all fiction. I love to write stories. I write two kinds of books. One kind is for maybe older readers, middle schoolers, and they're lighter, funnier books, maybe a little romance in them, and they're about girls who are exploring what it's like to grow up here in the States between cultures. The second kind of books that I like to write are set far away, in faraway places, and they're about kids that are growing up right now in today's world, but they're facing different kinds of challenges, like a girl whose dad drives a rickshaw and she's trying to help ends meet for her family, or a boy who is fleeing from the attack of the Burmese soldiers in the jungles. So there's those two kinds of books that I like to write, one to make you laugh and one to make you think. The first kind, the lighter kind, based really on my life. They're stories about girls who are growing up, as I like to call it, between two cultures. And that's my experience. We came here when I was 7 years old, and I grew up here in the States, but my family, my parents, are very traditionally Indian. I was born in India, and so I grew up between the culture of my parents and the culture of my school and my friends. So when we first arrived here in the States, we lived in New York City, and I remember the first week we arrived, my sister took me to the Flushing Public Library, and I couldn't believe that I could take 7 books home. I love to read, and we went every week, and I brought books home, and I just read and read and read and read. And that's when I discovered that the power of stories really to take you to faraway places and to introduce you to people that you would never otherwise meet. And I began to see that stories have such a power to change people's hearts, that you can change their minds with politics, but you can change their hearts with stories. You are given a unique voice and a unique story, and if you hand your story over to someone else, it will not be told with the same kind of authenticity and honesty that will allow it to go very deep and very far into a reader's heart. And so when you tell your own story, like I did, growing up between cultures, I experienced that. And so when I tell that story, I draw upon those deep places in my life that come from memories. And that's because I'm telling my own story, really, even though it's fiction. So you need to do that in order to have the power to go really deep and far into someone's heart.